What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. It is me, Yugioh, and I am happy to be here in order to show you guys Yummy. This is the introduction to the Yummy strategy. So before we begin, I'd like to ask that anybody who is new here definitely make sure to subscribe to the channel. And for everybody who's returning, welcome back. It's nice to see you guys. Also, some few announcements before we get into the video. We are starting our Justice Hunters 2v2 Iron Man tournament tomorrow by the time this video comes up, which should be Thursday the 31st. So definitely make sure to check out my Twitch channel if you guys want to see live feature matches daily for the entire tournament. It's almost a $2,000 prize pool, and some of the best players in the TCG and European regions are going to be playing in this tournament in order to see who is the best at Justice Hunters so far. But let's get into the video. So we're looking at the Yummy archetype. The Yummy archetype consists of level 1 beast monsters, and their basic gimmick is that they're able to synchro summon using Link 1 monsters. So there are three main Yummy monsters. There's Cupsy Yummy, Cookie Yummy, and Lolly Yummy. All of them have the effect that if you control a Link 1 or level 2 synchro monster, you can special summon them from your hand inherently, and they all have different effects. So Cupsy Yummy is on normal or special summon able to search a Yummy card from your deck to your hand, and if it's summoned by the effect of a synchro monster, you can draw a card instead. So all the Yummies also have this secondary gimmick that when they're summoned by the effect of a synchro, they get a different effect. Cookie Yummy can decrease a face-up monster your opponent controls attack by 1,000, or if it's summoned by a synchro monster, destroy that monster instead. And Lolly can banish or shuffle a card from your opponent's graveyard back into the deck, and if it's summoned off a synchro, you banish it. So these cards are excellent. I would say that obviously Cupsy is the best because it is a Rhoda, but all of the Yummy monsters in and of themselves are starter cards, and they're able to advance your game state. For the other Yummy cards in the main deck, we play 3 copies of Yummy Surprise, which is a quick play spell that says you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Yummy Surprise once per turn. Target 2 light beast monsters you control and 2 cards your opponent controls. Return them to the hand. Special summon 1 Yummy from your hand or graveyard, but it can't attack directly. Or return 1 field spell face up from your field or graveyard to your hand. Then you can place a Yummy field spell from your hand face up on the field. So the way that this card works is each effect can be used in a turn. So if you open up multiple surprises, you can use them, but you can only use each effect once per turn. So if you open up multiple, you can't use the same effect on both, but you can use 2 different effects on both. And if you open up 3, then you can use 1 of each effect. Then Yummy has 2 field spells, Yummy Minion and Yummy Akroki. Yummy Minion makes all of your Yummy monsters gain 500 attack for each light beast on the field. So on the field, and obviously including your opponents on the mirror match, your monsters will get really big. And then if you control a Link 1 monster, you can target 1 level 1 Yummy in your graveyard, special summon it. And then both of the field spells have this graveyard effect that you can shuffle them plus 2 of your banished or in the graveyard Yummy monsters. You put them that and 2 of them from the grave or banishment to the bottom of the deck. So they're able to recycle your resources. Then Akroki says if you synchro summon a light beast synchro monster, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. If a face-up monsters you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect. So keep in mind this is monsters, not just Yummy monsters. Except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 Yummy monster from your deck, and then it has the same graveyard effect. As for the extra deck monsters, we have Cupsy Yummy Way, which takes a tuner plus a non-tuner, and then all 3 of the synchros can use a Link 1 as a level 1 tuner monster. And it says if it's synchro summoned, you can add 2 Yummy monsters from your deck to your hand, then discard 1 card. And then all 3 of the Yummy monsters have this third effect that says when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, return this card to the extra deck for cost. Special summon up to 2 Yummy monsters from your graveyard. So this doesn't target. And it's a good way of dodging hand traps, and it's one of the main ways that you're going to be interacting on your opponent's turn. The next card is Lolly Yummy Way, which is if it's synchro summoned, you can special summon 2 Yummies from your graveyard, but their effects are negated. So this is a card that in some of the combos that I'm going to show, it's a main extender. It helps you extend your plays and synchro climb. And then the third of the Yummy synchros is Cookie Yummy Way, that says if this card is synchro summoned, you can target up to 2 face-up monsters on the field, change them to face down defense position. So this is the main disruption that you're going to be summoning off the Yummy synchros. So you might be asking me asking yourself, like, how do these cards turn into interruptions during the opponent's turn, right? Well, the Link monster Yummy Snatchy, which is the best card in the deck, it's an insane Link 1 monster. It says if this card is special summon, place one Yummy field spell from your hand or deck face up on the field. Also, you can't Link summon Link 3 or higher monsters for the rest of the turn. You can only use this effect of Yummy Snatchy once per turn. Once per chain during the main phase or your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can pay 100 life. Immediately after this resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using monsters you control as material, including a Yummy monster. So Yummy Snatchy is a formula synchron on crack because it's not once per turn. The only restriction is that it's once per chain, so you can't like chain it multiple times to itself in order to like dodge disruption. But it already dodges disruption because it's a quick effect to synchro, but you're able to synchro multiple times on the opponent's turn by continuously using Yummy Snatchy and then tagging it out multiple times. As for the rest of the deck, you see that I'm on a board breaker approach. I think that Yummy takes good advantage of a board breaker approach. It's a lot of one card combos, and it does have some OTK potential because of minion, and it's able to play pretty well into boards because of Obedience School, which is a card that goes without talking about. Like, the card is insane. It says if you control no monsters, you can special summon 3 level 2 or lower beast monsters with different names from your deck with their effects are negated. Also destroy them during the end phase. For the rest of the turn after this card resolves, you can't special summon except for beast monsters. Like, that honestly doesn't matter for the most part. It just summons 3 different Yummies from your deck. It's an incredible push going first or second. It plays through multiple disruptions going first, and going second is just an insane card to start off with or extend with. Like, you can bait with a normal summon, they remove it, and then you extend with an Obedience School. And then because of the normal spell, a card like Thrust, being able to thrust into Obedience School is a powerful thrust target, you know. It's a starter and an extender in some scenarios, but so it's just a crazy card overall. But with that being said, I think we should jump into some of the combos. So for the first combo here, we have one Yummy plus a discard. It doesn't matter which Yummy it is. Obviously, if it's Cupsy Yummy, it's a little bit better. But here, so we're able to go normal summon a Yummy, turn it into Yummy Snatchy. Yummy Snatchy will place minion from the deck. Then we will use Minion's effect to revive our Yummy. Next, we will Synchro 2 into Cupsy Yummy Way. And use Cupsy Yummy Way's effect in order to add Cupsy Yummy plus Cookie Yummy. So Cupsy Yummy Way being able to add the 2 missing Yummies that we're missing. So that's the reason why any Yummy is full combo, because any Yummy gets you to the other 2 Yummies. It's like Prank Kid in that sense, where if you open up one Prank Kid, it equals all of the Prank Kids. So you add 2, then you discard the 1 random card. Then you special summon Cupsy Yummy. Cupsy Yummy will then add Surprise. Next, you'll Synchro 3 into Martial Metal Marcher. Martial Metal Marcher will revive a tuner from your grave, so you revive the Cupsy Yummy. Then you'll special summon Cookie Yummy. So at this point, you're checking for Nibiru, because if your opponent has Nibiru, they have to Nibiru you here, or else you'll summon Herald of the Arclight as your next move. So now you're insulated from Nibiru because you have an Omni Negate. Then you're going to turn your Cupsy Yummy into another copy of Snatchy Yummy. Then you'll use your Yummy Surprise in order to bring back Cookie Yummy. Next, you'll use those 2 in order to go into Lollipop Yummy. This is what I was talking about. And Lollipop Yummy will revive 2 Yummies from your grave back to your field. Then you're going to link the 2 Yummies away into I'm not going to try to pronounce the first part of this card's name, but Onari. And Onari says it takes 2 light monsters, including a beast. It says your opponent cannot target cards in your field zone for card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Onari once per turn. If this card is link summoned, you can target 1 quick play spell in your graveyard, set it. If this card is destroyed, for each card in the field spell zone, you can apply one of these effects or both of them in sequence. Destroy 1 card your opponent controls, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. So it protects your field spell, which is important. One of the weaknesses of Yummy is Minion in particular getting banished. So while Onari is up, Minion can't get targeted by a card like SP, and on summon is going to be able to reset your surprise. This is also important for other scenarios, because sometimes, like as you saw on the deck list, we're pulling cards like droplets. You're able to reset droplets off of Ordinary if you already have surprise, or depending on the game state, right? So this is our 1 card line. So this might not seem like a lot on face value. We have the Omni Negate, and we have like these 2 cards which don't really look like they're doing much, and this card obviously is not doing much, this card is not doing much, but there's actually a lot of disruption, because on the opponent's turn, if your opponent activates anything, you're able to activate Lollipop in order to summon back Snatchy plus another Yummy. Snatchy will then cycle your minion for the other field spell of Croaky, and then you're able to proc one of these guys' effects in order to either search a card / draw, pop a monster, banish a card from the grave. Then you're able to synchro summon again in order to make Cookie. Cookie will be able to Book of Moon 2 cards. The field spell will be able to pop another card. Then you'll be able to tag out Cookie in order to summon back Snatchy plus another name that you haven't used. Then you're either going to get to pop a card, banish, whatever you haven't done yet. Then you can synchro again. It turns into a huge chain of effects. And then you also have the surprise, which at any point, once you summon back 2 bodies, can target those 2 bodies and target 2 cards your opponent controls in order to bounce both of them. And then you can chain the Snatchy to the surprise in order to synchro summon. But the way that surprise is worded is that it will still bounce the opponent's monsters. So you have a lot of disruption here. So the next combo I'm going to show you guys is a 1-card combo with Obedience School. So this is Obedience School without a discard. There are 2 different lines there are multiple different lines. There are a multitude of different lines you can do with Obedience School, but this is the line with Obedience School without an additional discard. So you activate Obedience School, you summon all 3 names from your deck. Then you turn your Cupsy in particular into Snatchy. Snatchy will place your minion. Next, you don't activate minion. You turn the Snatchy plus the name into a Cupsy way. The reason why you do it this way is because it plays better into Nibiru. If you activate the minion immediately, summon Cupsy and use Cupsy effect, and they chain Nib, they get a lot more value from that Nib than they're supposed to. And it sucks especially because you used Obedience School, so it's not even like you can turn the token into a Link Spider afterwards. So you're going to add Cupsy way plus Cookie way, and you're going to pitch the Cookie way. Then you're going to turn another one of your bodies, not the synchro, into Snatchy. And then you're going to use Snatchy's effect in order to bring back Cupsy. This is going to trigger Cupsy in order to add surprise. So now at this point, you're going to go Cupsy plus the Snatchy into Lolly. Lolly is going to revive 2 bodies. Then you're going to use Lolly plus a body, because all of the synchros are tuners, to go into Starham. So this is another new card that just came out in Duelist Advent that says if this card is synchro summoned, you can discard 1 card, special summon 1 monster from your grave that was used for its material, and treat it as a tuner. So you're going to discard the Cupsy in order to bring back the Cupsy that you used for the synchro summon, and it's treated as a tuner. Then you're going to link away your other body into Snatchy. You're going to set surprise, and you're going to end your turn. So again, this is like another setup board. This deck is very weird in the way that it plays, as in it doesn't end on a quote-unquote lot of disruption that is just immediately there for your opponent to deal with. A lot of what Yummy is doing is interacting and setting up disruption and setting up like plays on the opponent's turn. So it's very cool in that sense, and very different from what we've been dealing with for the last sort of like year with Ryzel and Malice, where they just put up a big board and you have to deal with it. No, Yummy is more of interactive. Like, it's setting up plays for the opponent's turn that it honestly gives you windows of interaction before it can even begin to do its gameplay on the opponent's turn. And that's something I really like about this deck. So that's this combo. So those are the 2 combos that I wanted to show to you guys today. Also, if you guys are interested in learning more about the Yummy strategy, in the comments below, I'll have a link to the free Yummy practice guide. This is a demo guide for the Yummy strategy, and I'll have a link to the full version, which is available for purchase. If you don't want to purchase it, it's completely fine, but there is a free version that is readily available for you guys with some of the basic combos. It has 4 combos, 3 1-card combos and 1 2-card combo, and it's here for you guys in case you guys are interested. But yeah, with that being said, I hope that you guys appreciate this video. I will be seeing you guys more often. Again, check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/jib_YGO. We will be streaming tomorrow the first round of my tournament, whatever feature match I decide to show, and we will probably be posting feature matches on the channel. So there will be more content coming soon. We're not gonna I'm gonna do my best in order to not have big gaps in between the content. Also look out for an introduction to Dragon Tail and K9, the other decks coming out in Justice Hunters. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.